I'm Shania Fletcher,
I'm Elisa Phillips.
and today we're going to be doing a book review on God Can't, How to Believe in God and Love After Tragedy, Abuse, and Other Evils by Thomas J. Ord.
This book was published in 2019, and Thomas Ord is a very credited author. He's known for his contributions to research on love, science, and religion, and he teaches institutions around the globe.
This book is about Thomas J. Ord telling multiple stories that have tragedy and abuse and
Suicide.
evil in them,
And how God works to help heal those people.
and that he's trying to explain to them that God is not the one that's putting this pain and evil upon people now.
God can't stop the pain and evil.
He is actually there hurting with you instead of him putting this pain and tragedy onto you.
I think a lot of times people think of when they're going through hardships like it's a punishment from God, when
And
it's the opposite of that.
5 key points that this book shows and wants us to know about is that one is God can't prevent evil.
Which means God can't stop all the evil that happens in the world. That's not him. That's not his doing. That's the devil.
God feels our pain.
When we hurt, God hurts.
God works to heal. Whenever we are hurting, He wants to just heal us because He is also hurting, because He's the one that obviously did not put that pain onto us. The next one is God squeezes good from bad.
I think this is an important one because, so everyone's been affected by, a death. And, the story of James that's battling depression, we talk about how he loses that battle to suicide. So, if you're someone that's experienced that, you've lost someone to suicide, maybe you can help someone else get through that.
And that's been more common today. Depression and suicide is more common today than it has ever been. I think so, because I think we all know somebody that is going through that currently, or we know somebody that we have lost to suicide. Another key point is that God needs our cooperation.
By that, I think he means that he needs us to keep our faith and to realize, not to just look at oh, why me? Why is this happening to me when something bad happens to you? It's happening for a reason.
And I've been raised to think that, even whatever you go through, any hardship, that you always should lean on God to not so much as make it better, but, help you go through it and try to heal and try to come out of that hardship. I think that this book did enhance my understanding of the issues. Not so much as, God can't do this and that, because I've been raised to believe that, God, you shouldn't question anything that God does for you. And I'm not saying that God does put this pain on you, because I brought this up multiple times that He does not. But I think it enhanced my understanding of what God's role is when all these tragedies happen.
Yeah, like Terry, who was abused by the Sunday school teacher as a child. I think that's something pretty hard to deal with. You wonder, why that abuse happened to you, or why you lost your child, or why you lost a loved one.
And people we know today, I'm sure they have went through child abuse. I personally have not, but I know people that have, and that has put them in a really hard spot, even grown up as adults now.
But I think it's good that even though God couldn't stop that, it's not that He was inflicting it on you, but God can squeeze the good out of that and use you to be an advocate for children that are going through child abuse now.
Right. My opinion after reading this book is that Thomas has made some valid points, but one that I kind of am very unsure about, because I know these are his opinions, and he's trying to get us to believe his way of thinking. One of the ones that I'm kind of on the edge about is that God can't prevent evil. And I think about this daily because, say, one day I get a flat tire, and then later that day I hear there was an accident that morning. In my head, And in my heart, I believe that God gave me the flat tire, or something happened to get me that flat tire, so I wouldn't have been the one that wrecked. But then I questioned myself because someone else got in that accident, and like, what was their point of view of that?
Yeah, I agree with this point that God squeezes good from bad, because like I said previously, I think that I feel like everything happens for a reason, and at that time you think that it's something bad happening to you. You don't understand why it's happening, but usually later on down the road you see why it happened, and you're using that hurt to help someone else.
Overall, I would recommend this book, but only to certain people that I think believe the same way that I do. I personally enjoyed this book. Like, I like a book that tells stories from points of view of different people. And I think it was very relatable because I know people that have gone through some of the same stuff. And I think that it could help them through it.
Yeah, that's how I feel about the book. Like, I feel like it helped me understand more. Like, it's good to know that I'm not the only person that questions these things. And I'm glad that I had something more to help me understand how to get through it and why it's happening the way it is.
But I really don't understand why it's titled that God can't. But you know, that's Thomas Taylor.
It definitely gets your attention. But I do think that, personally, I would recommend a different title, because that could deter like a lot of readers from getting the book.
Some people off, and it would stop a lot of people from getting it.
They would think that you're like listing all the negative.
God.
Yeah.
And that they won't think you're even a believer at all until, well, the subtitle kind of gives it away that you should,
how to
believe.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I think that it's a good book to read. It can help people struggling. It can help you to learn to keep that faith.
If you've had the same sequences happen in your life before, if you're reading it later, I think it's a good book.
Yeah.
Thank you.